Welcome back to the Legend Series, and this is one of the most legendary matches of all time, one of the few super matches that we've ever seen in freestyle wrestling. The legend himself, the GOAT, John Smith, in the blue and white singlet, taking on Sergei Beloglasov, representing the Soviet Union. Of course, the Russian born in Kaliningrad. Folks, this really was a super match. It was held the day after Christmas, 1989. And this was for $8,000. It was two to show, and then winner got an extra six. And this was of course an interesting matchup for several reasons. Beloglasov, the 8-time world and Olympic champion, down at 57 kilos. John Smith coming off his third straight title, won world titles in 87 and 89, and the Olympic gold in 88. But that was up at 62, and there's a shot from Smith. My goodness, the speed, the quick finish. That's a 1-0 lead for John Smith, just over a minute into this bout. But this was a pretty incredible card. I believe they had 10 matches, and the 9 on the undercard, I want to say, was 1,000 to show and 4,000 to win. And the main event here, you got 8,000. Another shot there by Smith. Looking for the drag is Beloglasov. So 1-1 now. They're going to stop that, but still give Sergei time on top. But yeah, this was a big risk for Beloglasov. In terms of his legacy, he was not only coming up in weight, 5 kilos. Now probably was a little easier considering, his age at the time, and that he probably didn't have to cut too much for this. But John, 9 years younger than him, Beloglasov, 9 years older than Smith, and again in on the shot. Look at the change of direction there. That's going to be a 2-1 lead here, and a little bit of room to operate. John Smith, one of the greatest leg lacers of all time, looking to extend his lead here against Beloglasov. And that's going to be a 4-1 lead as they head out of bounds. 2:44 to go. Just about halfway through this match. Back then, 5-minute periods. One single 5-minute period. 1 point for the takedown, as you see, 2 for turn. And a little half shot there from Smith. I think Beloglasov might be able to fight this one off. As I say that, though, John sets him on his butt. And that's going to be a 5-1 lead now. Smith really opening it up. This is just something, you don't really see anymore. Fedzayev had wrestled Kenny Monday in a matchup of Olympic champions many years later, decades later. Kyle Snyder wrestled Abdulrashid Sajalayev as Olympic champions, but this is just something you don't see often in wrestling, and especially a one-off as a drag there for Beloglasov to make it 5-2 as he's trying to stage a comeback with under 2 minutes to go. Smith very wily in parterre here, not letting his legs get tied up. Looking for the bar, but I think he's going to run out of time here soon. You see the ref on the mat. And they certainly gave him more time back then on the mat as opposed to what they give him now. At some points in the history of freestyle, they had forced parterre, not just in Greco. Not sure what the hold up here is, if John's tying the shoes or something, but back to action. 90 seconds to go. Smith with a commanding lead. There's a 3 takedown, 2 lead, plus the turn. And I think the GOAT's going to try to ice it now. Great whizzer here into the rubber knee, but Beloglasov still holding on to that single, fighting off John's right leg. But again, the whizzer into the shot. Man, John W. just fought that off for about 25 seconds. That might have just iced it again in on the shot. Looking to seal off here. Can he go back to that rubber knee, breaking the grip? And that's why he's the GOAT, folks. Able to turn Beloglasov's offense into points of his own. 6-2 now. Again looking for that lace. This is vintage John Smith, again, halfway through his unprecedented 6 world and Olympic title run. No one else in American history has ever won more than 3 in a row. Smith in on the shot here. Beloglasov finally, it's late in the match, but finally kind of figured him out. However, John can hang out here. You see that incredible flexibility. He can hang on his knees like that for a whole minute if he needs to. Beloglasov trying to go spin cycle into the quad pod here. And John can just hold on, leading by 4. And the winner of one of the most famous super matches of all time, the celebration from John Smith, young John Smith, again, halfway to his legendary run of 6 titles, taking out the 8-time world and Olympic champion, Sergei Beloglasov of the Soviet Union, the day after Christmas, 1989. And a cool $8,000 in his pocket as well.